Oh, welcome, my friends and gems. Well, today is Halloween, and so I want to talk about sugar. Yes, let's keep things nice and sweet. And let's talk about sugar because today is a day that a lot of people indulge in a lot of sugar. And in fact, this is kind of the kickoff for the holidays. After Halloween, we've got Thanksgiving, and then we've got all the Christmas parties, New Year's, Valentine's. And so there's a large amount of sugar that we take in during this time of year. And so let me share with you a little story. I had a holistic dentist in the Midwest who came to me. This was back in 2017. And he had a very busy practice from early morning until about 6 p.m. He was pretty much booked all day. He was also very monastic in that he was very deep into prayer and meditation and did yoga and was very good and disciplined with his meditations and so forth. But he was struggling with very dark depression that he described as that he had been through a few dark nights of the soul. And so as we took a look at what he was eating, one of the things that just was a big red flag to me was at the end of the day, after he gets home, actually, when he would leave his practice 6-ish, he would go to the gym, work out, then he would come home and have dinner. And then about 9 o'clock at night, he would have a large piece of pie or cake and then go to sleep, a few hours later. And so I said, well, there you have it. That's it. It's the sugar that you're taking in. And if you back off from your sugar, you're going to start to see that your depression and your brain fog. And in his particular case, it was more the depression. He didn't have brain fog so much. Some people have, as a direct result of the glucose spike that you have in your blood, oftentimes they'll have brain fog, they'll have anxiety, they'll have very dark depression. And so we talked about it and the light bulb just kind of went on. And he said, well, that's it. I will just cut it cold turkey. And I said, well, you don't have to cut it cold turkey, but maybe instead of having that full piece of pie, maybe you want to cut it back to half over the next week to 10 days, and then maybe cut it down to a quarter. And then maybe cut it out, all together over the course of 30 days. And he said, no, I'm just going to cut it out cold turkey. I'm just going to get rid of it. If that's the cause, we're going to find out. And I said, okay, fantastic. So a week, 7 days, I like to do 7-day follow-ups usually. And so 7 days go by. And then the following week, he was very excited when he called me. He actually beat me to the punch. Instead of my calling him, he called me. And he says, you're not going to believe this, but since I stopped having that cake or pie every night with dinner, I haven't had any depression. No depression. My energy is actually up. I feel so much better. I said, wow. I said, this is fantastic. So I said, let's follow up in about 3 weeks, because that'll be a month's time, 30 days since you've started this, and let's see how you're doing. And so 30 days later, the rest is basically history, because basically his depression that he had suffered for over a decade with had lifted. Now, for some people, they're probably thinking, well, it can't possibly be that easy. But for some people, where our bodies are all chemistry. I keep on telling you how everything in our body, it's not just the chemistry that's inside your body. It's also what your skin absorbs. It's what you inhale. It's the hair products that you put in, and the eye drops that you use. So it's your body is this organism that you ingest things, you inject things, you apply things. You have lotions and potions that you apply on your skin. You have detergent and things like that absorb through the skin because of you wash your clothes with certain detergents. And if those things are not, they're all man-made and they're synthetic and they have strong chemicals in it, then the clothes and the sheets and the blankets that you have touching your skin all the time are going to be absorbed through the skin. And so you have to look at this very holistic, no pun intended, very holistic Look at yourself as an entire being, as someone who eats, who drinks, who inhales, who exhales, absorbs through the skin, put things on your skin. Again, also the foods that you eat, you know, what type of containers, if you have, I've talked about before on the broadcast about aluminum and how we take in so much aluminum. And we've known for almost 30 years that aluminum is a neurotoxin. So I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of aluminum, but that's another discussion in and of itself. Today, the focus is sugar. So often we have sugar and we are not even aware, because a cake, a Twinkie, a ding dong, a donut, a Krispy Kreme, that's obvious, right? But let's talk about the not so obvious things that perhaps you can benefit. And so I'm just going to do a pause button here right now, because today is Halloween. It's the 31st of October. That's why I'm dressed up as a Roman queen. And it's, again, you know, it's to be playful with you guys and to be in the spirit of the holidays, right? And again, bring our focus to sugar. And so oftentimes we have sugar and we're taking sugar in, and inadvertently, we're not even aware of the volume of sugar that we're taking in, because we think ice cream, you know, candies and donuts, and there are things that are obvious like that. Even sugary breakfast cereals, you know, or pancakes with, you know, syrup and waffles and French toast and crepe Suzette with whipping cream and more syrup on it. You know, those are very obvious forms of sugar, but let's talk about the not so obvious forms of sugar. So I want you to think about something when it comes to carbohydrates and starches, and all grains turn into starches in the body. So if you're starting your day off with a grain like a bowl of oatmeal, which many people do start their day off with a bowl of oatmeal, that is basically starch, which is a long chain of glucose molecules, which are going to cause an incredible spike in your blood. Not to mention if you add any whipping cream or maple syrup or any other kind of syrup on your oatmeal, then it's going to cause a glucose spike, which is going to bring your sugar levels up, which is going to cause this issue that not only is going to increase inflammation in the body, but it's also going to cause neurochemicals to change in your body too, because those glucose spikes affect your brain. There's no question about it. And so as it increases, you know, the glucose within your system, then you can have feelings of depression, anxiety, you can feel tired. And there's a whole host of symptoms, like I said before. This also affects people, you know, sometimes people inadvertently who have conditions like PCOS, type 1, type 2 diabetes. There's a whole myriad of other conditions too. The bottom line to know is to become aware of what it is that you're actually putting into your body. Let's talk also about another not so obvious thing that you put in your body and you think it's really good for you and you have no idea the detrimental effects. It's so hard to wear a crown. You have no idea. Have 2 bobby pins. Think about it. It's metal, right? Sidebar, right? Okay, back to the sugar. So let's talk about 2 other things that a lot of people, you know, it's been very popular over the last, I'd say, decade or so. Oat milk, rice milk. Again, oat milk. That's liquid starch. Rice milk, that's liquid starch too. And now you're putting that in your coffees, you're having that with your breakfast, you're having that as a milk substitute, and that's going to increase your glucose in your body. It's going to create a glucose spike, and then you have this also increased inflammation. And it's no wonder that people feel it increases cravings in your system because of that glucose spike and so forth. And so if you were to either stick with cow's milk or maybe move to almond milk, or better yet, go to hemp milk or coconut milk, those things are not going to create that glucose spike in your blood. So we're going to keep this short and sweet. This is not going to be a long video. We're here at the 10-minute mark. I just wanted to bring your attention to some of these things. Think about rice and pasta. Those are starches too. I'm not telling you not to have rice and pasta or potatoes, because as I sit here, I pretty much every day of my life have either rice or pasta with whatever vegetables and with whatever protein. And the order in which you eat your food makes a difference. Anybody who's ever cooked, you know, recipes for any kind of meal that you're preparing, you know how important it is to do things in the proper order, because if you go to bake something and you didn't follow the right order, things won't turn out right. And many recipes, don't turn out. Something as simple as lemonade. You go to make a lemonade. If you don't put sugar in the water before you add the lemon, good luck. Anyone who's made lemonade, you learn that very quickly, that you have to sweeten the water first, then you add the lemon juice. You can't just put the lemon juice in the water and then add the sugar. It doesn't quite work the same. And there's plenty of other things that are like that, where you have to follow a certain order. And the importance of eating your food in a certain order. So you could eat the same foods and you can create a biohack and change your sugar levels and level out so that you don't have a spike in glucose, just by changing the order in which what you eat first that's on your plate. So let's think about having vegetables, a starch. The starch could be pasta, could be rice, it could be potatoes, and then whatever your protein is. So the right order to optimize your body, to stabilize your glucose levels so that your body has the best combination to optimize your body, is for you to start off with the vegetables first, which is why in so many cultures you actually have your salad first, not at the end, because by having the salad first and putting vinegar, which is an alkalizer, any kind of vinegar short of the balsamic vinegar syrup, right? But if you're having any kind of vinegar and olive oil or a vinaigrette over that salad, and then you go to eat whatever your vegetables are, then you eat your protein, and then the last thing you eat is your rice, your pasta, your potatoes, your sweet potatoes. You would eat that last. If you look at a Japanese poke bowl, you'll see that they have the vegetables on top. They'll have the poke, which is the raw tuna, ahi tuna, under that. And then below that, the rice is at the bottom. They know that you should be eating the vegetable first, the seaweed, the edamame, etc. first, and then you eat your protein, the ahi tuna, and then last you eat the rice, okay? So this is food for thought. I want you to I'm just trying to bring awareness so that you understand and comprehend. And when you can ascribe a meaning to what it is that you're doing, you have a greater level of understanding, and you become aware and realize and recognize that this is of benefit. And as you start to pay attention to how your body responds to how you are doing things with intention, more conscientious, you're not really doing a major diet change. You're just changing the order. And maybe you're switching out a few things, like switching out, instead of oat milk, instead of rice milk, maybe you're switching it out for hemp milk and coconut milk, either or both and. I myself, I use both. I use coconut milk and I also use hemp milk, and I alternate to change it up on a daily basis. So my friends and gems, if you like this, please hit that like button. Please share this with others. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that helps the algorithm. It helps more people discover this. As you are very aware, I am a pluripotent stem cell activation patch specialist. I specialize in using photobiomodulation patches, which are also known as phototherapy patches, to activate your pluripotent cells in the body, to repair, to restore, to regenerate it to a younger, healthier state. If you're interested in getting more information about that, let me flash here my our hotline number. You can call here. I can text you the bullet point on what the mother's pluripotent cell patch activates, so that you see what it repairs, what it regenerates, what it restores. And if you want to do a one-on-one, we do have a complimentary one-on-one session that we can do with you, or you can join us every day at 2 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Saturday, and Friday, Monday through Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern time, or you can join us at 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, Pacific time. All right, my friends and gems, I hope you enjoyed this broadcast. Please hit like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification button so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And do share this with a friend or two. Please share this on your social media. This helps the algorithm, so more people like you with families like yours can find this very useful information. And as you know, what I shared with you today doesn't cost you anything. Changing the order with what it is that you're eating doesn't cost you anything extra. You're just changing the order for better health and well-being. And as always, make sure that you drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces of water every day from the time you get up until you go to sleep. You want to drink 50% your weight in fluid ounces. So if you're 100 pounds, you would drink 50 ounces of water. If you weigh 200 pounds, you're going to drink 100 ounces of water, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense? All right, my friends and gems, if you're interested, put I'm interested in the comments below. You can also contact me on my hotline, which I just posted here a moment ago. And as always, ciao for now, my friends and gems.